The screen is now recording. Hello, Six String TV viewers. We've been trying to record multiple tier lists forever now, and the footage has just never saved, and I hate it. So today we're going to be doing a tier list video for amplifiers, and I really do hope that the recording actually saves this time and something is not forgotten. And if it is, I'm not recording it again because this is the second time on just this tier list, fourth time so far. Let's get into it, Mr. Six String. So, let's start with this. You've sent me a list of amplifiers, all in alphabetical order, which I do appreciate. But you've started off weirdly with Ampeg, the bass player amplifiers. Why?
I know someone who uses their bass amps for guitar too, which is weird, but it works if you use them for cleans. And I'm pretty sure that they did used to make very, very good guitar amplifiers, and the few that did survive the aging process, that would be they would probably be A or S tier. So I would put them in D, just out of can get back to making guitar amplifiers, please.
Okay, I can't really say anything other than the bass amps sound like bass amps. So
They're also very good bass amps. I'm just not a bass player.
Now, we've got Blackstar here. Now, I've made a video on Blackstar. It was pro Blackstar. So where would you be on the debate? Or more so, where would you rank them?
I am torn because I had a Blackstar. I had a Blackstar HT Stage 60 combo. That was the first real amp I bought after when I graduated from practice amps. I bought that used and I just hated it forever, and then I traded it. That one really left a bitter taste in my mouth, but they do have is whatever one is in the background of your. I'm pretty sure you've sound demoed it before on the channel, right?
Yeah.
They have the Artisan series, their answer to Marshall's Plexi, but it's a bit sturdier and stuff. It's more of a suitable amp for touring. And they have the Blackstar Fly series, which is the best of those little amp emulator practice things. So I'm torn because I hate them, but I also kind of love them. So I would put them in B.
I'm not gonna argue. The next one is Bogner, also a B brand, in the sense that the letters begin with B. They're very good, but I would associate them with boutique amplifiers. And boutique also means very much expensive. And they're harder to come by outside of America.
And we are both outside of America, by the way. People assume I'm either British or American for some reason. I am German, and Mr. KDH is very clearly Irish.
Is from Texas. Yeah, I'm from Texas. This particular brand, good amplifiers, hard to find, and when you do find them, they're very expensive.
The leads on most of their amps are just so smooth and buttery. It's just very, very hard to come by them. I've played one once, but I really enjoyed that.
I'd put them in B, just because they're hard to get.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
It's unlikely that I've only played one once. It's unlikely that you get to play them. Boss. The Boss Katana. I think it's good. How many practice amps could you say? Yes, you can do a gig with that. Not many, but the Katana you can.
The thing that annoys me about them is when you walk into a very, very large, Europe's largest music stores, music store in Cologne, Thomann in southern Germany. You go try a custom shop guitar, an expensive Fender, an expensive Charvel in one of their guitar test rooms, and the thing you'll be faced with is a Boss Katana, which is not what I want to try one of those guitars through. I want to get a fucking head and cab or something.
But it also could be a lot worse.
It could. What it
the
could
Katana
be...
became it made a good sound possible for a lot of people. And it also meant that, everybody knows how they sound. You could see it as a negative, but you can also see that they're everywhere, which means that you can get them easily if you need to.
I know a lot of people who are not beginner, sort of intermediate, who like them because they don't have to buy pedals, because the newer ones have reverb.
Oh yeah, they have some effects.
They have reverb and delay built in, and if you're an intermediate player, you're not really gonna use much more than that. B or C, I don't know. You decide. I wouldn't put them in A.
Personally, I'd put them in A, just because the Katana changed the world, and I will happily play that guitar or play that amp in any situation. So we'll put it in B. We'll split the difference.
Yeah, all right. All the B brands have gone in B tier so far. Cool.
EVH. Couple of different amplifiers. To me, they kind of all sound very similar. That similarity is kind of the point, because it sounds like EVH. They've got a lot of gain. They've got more gain than I think Eddie ever used.
I prefer the Peavey 5150 over the EVH one. Still a very, very good amplifier though. What they did do was release the iconic thing, which got them like a lot of praise and a whole lot of backlash too.
I suppose it's a very close comparison to Peavey as well. When it comes to EVH, what's the amplifier that you think of? I think of like the 5150 Mark III.
Very, very good. I've played them plenty of times. I don't own one. I don't think I will ever own one because it's not my type of amplifier, but I am willing to put them in A just because first of all they have like shaped modern metal sound sort of.
Yeah, it's an important amplifier. I've recorded with them once.
All right.
The only problem was it was just a little bit too much gain for me, but you can always roll the gain down. That is a thing. Speaking of gain and probably lack thereof, Fender amplifiers.
I'm a big fan. So I'm good. Wait, let me say it. I'm a big fan. Everyone knows that I'm a big fan of anything Fender, but I do really, really desperately want twin reverb.
The Fender amplifiers, to me, they've got a certain sound, and it sounds nice, clean. Distorted isn't really my thing. I prefer most brands over Fender when it comes to amplifiers.
Ditto. However, if I don't play clean really, like I play clean maybe 15 minutes a week or something, because it just kind of annoys me and I don't have the right amps for it. This amp has a very, very good sounding clean channel, still not really, it's not made to be played clean. I'm convinced that I would play without distortion, like, I don't know, 60% of the time if I had, like, any of the popular Fender amps.
For clean tones, it's one thing. For distortion, it's another. But I don't think it can do both, which is a factor to consider when tier listing them.
You can chuck a DS1 in front of it, but it's not going to sound fun, no. Is it called the Mustang, like the modeling amp?
Yes, that's the modeling one, yeah.
That is cool. Like, that is good. That's like their answer to the Boss Katana, which it is inferior to it, but it's still fun.
I'd put them in C just for the classic cleans. C for clean is where I'd place them.
I'm fine with that because it's right down the middle. I wouldn't dare put them any lower, but I put them right down the middle because yes, I've never seen anyone get a good like high gain tone with a Fender amp, obviously.
Now, Fortin amplifiers. What are your thoughts?
Wait, you've made the Fortnite joke, right?
I have made the Fortnite joke,
crap.
and it's still as funny today as it was when I made that joke.
It really is. All right. You've made a video about the entire reason why I am tempted to put these in like E tier.
Yeah. Okay. The immediate thing that speaks to me is the names. The names on the amplifier sound like they've been named by a really edgy 12-year-old.
Right. The evil pumpkin and the nat ass and.
Yeah, I've got a skull t-shirt on because I'm a bad boy, and my amplifier name is very scary.
They sound like the kid from Toy Story who breaks all the toys named them.
Sid. Okay, that's what I immediately think of when I read the names, and when I see the prices, wow, that for me makes it less.
Yeah, also it's not really anything unique. Like it's not a sound that you couldn't get out of an amplifier that existed before Fortin did.
Well, they're modified Marshalls, but a lot of people modify.
Yeah, there's also like the Fortin Meshuggah, which is just like the plexi modded for Gent basically, which is what Meshuggah sounds like, but you can get that sound without spending 10 grand. So I'd put them in E.
I'd agree with E, but not because no one needs them or anything. I'm just doing it because I don't think that the names are cool, even though the names really feel like they were named to try and be cool.
All right, so that's copacetic. Cool.
Speaking of modified Marshalls, though, Friedman, sound-wise as well, they kind of sound like Marshalls or modified Marshalls,
yes,
which I like.
At a much higher price point, however.
But also, you have to remember that they're a higher price point for us. Those are modified Marshalls made in America. We can get Marshalls for a lot cheaper because the shipping is nowhere near as much in the import. Kind of a Marshall for the American market, I think.
So they are less in the US. All right, I didn't process that in my head. Sure, I don't think that far. I just go sound bad or sound good.
Marshalls are really expensive in the US. Like I can pick up like a Marshall head here secondhand for like €500.
I mean, I got the JCM 800 for 600.
The Kerry King.
Yeah.
Whoa! Okay, right. Let's take that for example. Anyone in the US, you'll be trying to buy that for like $3.5 grand secondhand.
Oh yeah, the reverb prices are insane.
So Friedman kind of offer the Marshall sound, but for a US market, they do have some silly names, but it's not as bad as, like, they're not trying to be spooky.
Yeah, no, they're like goofy names, you know. Friedman, the Butter Slacks is a Friedman, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
Maybe?
that's like a silly, goofy name, but it's funny, and the amp sounds very, very good. Like Fluff has one, and I love when he plays it. So
It's a good sounding amp. Where would you place them?
I would never buy one when I can buy a Marshall. I would put them in C, but I'd put them in B because they are very, very good.
Yeah, I'd put them in B. I would actually buy them over a Marshall, just because Marshall are nowhere near what they used to be. But we'll get there. We will. Hiwatt. Oh, Hiwatt. I think Hiwatt.
I wouldn't have thought in a million years to put Hiwatt on the list had you not made a video about yours semi-recently.
I did, yes.
I didn't really know Hiwatt existed. I knew the name. I knew they made amplifiers.
I don't blame you for not knowing, because Hiwatt went from being a prominent enough amp brand to disappearing to showing up again, but it wasn't actually Hiwatt that showed up. It was a couple of guys who own guitar shops in England. When I think of Hiwatt, I think of the old Hiwatt, A to S tier. However, the new Hiwatt, the new Hiwatt is a different brand again. It's now it's owned by people in Canada, but I can't comment on the new ones. I can comment on the old ones though. Very good.
I've heard like old ones like that demoed, and if you can get them to work today, if they have survived the process of aging, then they sound like fantastic. So where would you put them as an owner?
If you told me the old one, I'd chuck it in A.
The old Hiwatt from that era, then yes, we can put them in A because they are fantastic, and I would love to own one, but I probably never will.
And they've got a particular sound that very few amps do sound like. We'll put them there. Let's take a look at who's our next. Hughes and Kettner, Technology of Tone.
Yeah, see, that's
Okay.
they didn't say technology of good tone for a reason.
Oh. He's throwing shade.
So I had one. I had one here. That's what I traded the Blackstar in for, but I knew it was going to be temporary. I knew I was going to sell the Hughes and Kettner. I've also tried the Grandmeister. I've tried the Triamp. I've tried all the important ones, basically. And one thing they all have in common is that they sound like cooked spaghetti. They sound super flabby. Almost impossible to get a tight tone out of a Hughes and Kettner.
I think the amplifier that speaks to me from their range is the Black Spirit 200, because I like the idea of it. It's very small, it's very light. I've never played one, but I think the idea and the concept and even the execution is very cool. Yes,
I've played that one too. The Grandmeister is like the best. I mean, that the name does imply it's their like magnum opus. It sounds all right for the most part, and it has like a direct recording output that you will never need a cab for that thing. Not like a Mesa cab clone situation. Sounds very, very good if you're not playing high gain with high gain. But, for the most part, the people who watch my channel are sort of more high-gain players. I don't know. I hate it. Also, just a little bit of extra spite. I applied for a job there, and they said that I couldn't show Marshall amps in my videos anymore if I did work for them. So I said, yeah, suck it.
That is kind of funny. The only thing I have against Hughes and Kettner is it's really, really bright blue.
Any other color. Pick another color, but it just looks like you got it at the Dollar Tree if it has blue LEDs in it.
I still am eager to try out the Black Spirit 200 because I think it's a cool concept that could be very useful in the grand scheme of things. You don't like them because for the high gain stuff.
Yeah,
well,
there's also
Fender isn't very good at high gain.
Who on earth uses McAlpine, the neoclassical guy?
Johnny McAlpine.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he uses Hughes and Kettner.
Tommy Thayer from Kiss uses Hughes and Kettner.
All right. So those are two people. Who else? No one uses Hughes and Kettner, right?
I would argue, right, if your argument is that they're not very good at high gain, I would put them in C because Fender is not very good at high gain. Mm-hmm. But Fender's good at cleans, and Hughes and Kettner are good at, well, what they claim, technology. The Hughes and Kettner red box, I think.
I do have a Red Box Pro as my DI box. That's a very good piece of, yes.
Okay, so there you go. They're good at technology. I don't want to put them low because they are good at technology. Our thing is about to end.
They are kind of the like Tesla of guitar amplifiers. Like they aren't actually very good in reality, but they're popular because of how much technology is involved.
So I'd put them in C.
I'm cool with that, yes. Maybe people won't think I'm such a shill now because I did allow Fender to be put next to Hughes and Kettner. Kemper.
Not really an amplifier. Kemper.
Yeah, I put them in there because they're not amps, but they are. A lot of people use them as if they were these days. Yes, the toaster gang, as I like to call them.
I suppose it is more of an amp. Like, it's not a modeler, and it doesn't have like a huge list of effects. It is really multiple different amplifiers. And I did an A/B test in real life with it in a studio. Sounds the exact same.
First of all, too many buttons and shit. I'd feel like an airplane pilot. You know, I don't.
They look intimidating.
They really do. And I've tried one. You know, I had one briefly because I ordered it to try it out and thought, yeah, maybe I'll keep it. What I would miss if I were to use one permanently would be like because I'm a boomer, you know, the smell of hot burning tubes in my real amps, and cigarettes, because this has been on tour with the ex-vocalist of Iron Maiden. I am willing to put them in A though, because they are very, very good.
They are good. I will make one point, right? We can place these above all the other amplifiers, or among these other amplifiers and above. You would not get the Bogner sound in your Kemper. Without Friedman, you would not get a Friedman profile in your Kemper, and so on. You wouldn't get the Fender profile.
Yeah.
So without everybody else, Kemper would be absolutely nothing, because there is no Kemper sound.
So technically they are F, because it's like tofu. It tastes like whatever you rub on it.
I suppose. Without any of these others, it's a mixture between A and F.
But you are right. It is just kind of a blank slate until you add something to it that is on the list.
Now I'm just going to take a moment to just do this, okay? Just putting it there. I'm in control of the tier list, right?
All right. See, if you put it one tier above, I'm with you.
Nah, it's F. It has nothing to do with the product. It has everything to do with the treatment in which I received from representatives of Laney, which I did not appreciate. So therefore, F. And
all right.
This video is going on your channel. I refuse to have any of them ever seen on my channel.
I would be totally willing to just put these in E, because they have the Ironheart, and the Ironheart is the only one that I have played for more than like 2 seconds, basically, because the Ironheart sounds like a JCM 800, but tighter, and like it's more of a kick in the face in the best way possible. Very, very, very good amplifier. The rest can kind of suck my dick.
I have no doubt that they make good amplifiers, but still, no, F tier.
Okay, wait, do tell though.
Not on record.
All right.
Tell you after.
All right, cool.
Line 6. The founders of Insane.
No, if we were in like K-Mac guitar YouTube era, I would say line 6 garbage. But you know, they did make the Helix.
They make some amazing stuff. They have fantastic wireless system. They've got well, of course the Helix, but also the software. They've got the Helix software, or the HX software. They've got the Line 6 HX Stomp. The whole HX line is great.
They have the Line 6 Spider series, yes, but also I had one as a beginner and I was incredibly happy with it, because that is like one of the better practice beginner amps that you can get.
Yeah, you're not going to be happy with it if you're saying, oh, I wanted to tour the world with my Line 6 Spider, but it wasn't designed for that, and no one has ever wanted to do that.
There is like the Line 6 Spider 5, that was the classic like haha meme amp, but then they made the Line 6 Spider Jam, which like has drum beats built into it, and you can like program your own drum beats and shit, I think. Super cool. I'm not a fan of the Helix myself, because again, I don't like amp simulators, but I definitely see the use for it. And
I'm gonna tell you a secret.
Yes.
Almost every video I do, I use the Helix.
I assumed that most of your tones come from something not analog. And they sound fantastic. I just don't want to play them myself. That was my entire point in my video, was that I do not want to play amp simulators. If I hear them on a record, I don't care. I just don't want to use them.
I got a comment from a guy. One of the things that I really love about your videos is that you use real amplifiers. Thank you so much. And that was on a video where I was using the Helix.
That is funny. Yes, it does sound like convincingly real if you're not sitting in front of it, basically. But I just don't like the feel of it if I'm playing it myself, because I don't know, to me nothing beats just a big, and it doesn't have to be a tube amp, it just needs to be like analog and big to me. I don't know.
You're such a boomer.
Yes, no, 100%.
Where are we putting the Line 6?
I'm willing to put them in A, because they have Like they've contributed so much to like the guitar scene. I don't know. I'm convinced the guitar would be a little more dead without line 6.
Okay, Marshall, this would be an interesting one. If we were to base this off Hiwatt, for example, we put Hiwatt in A because we were basing it off the old Hiwatt. If we're putting old Marshall, Marshall would be up there. I'd even say S.
This era of Marshall, I would, or at least this era, because this is like this is one of the first run JCM 2000 DSLs. So this is like, I don't know if it's late 90s or early 2000s, but it's old. That era of Marshall, I would put an S easy. This one too, maybe. The modern era, where like Marshall signature artists use like MG amps. No thanks.
Just call it the fridge era, because that's what they've done. They've pivoted completely from amplifiers. Like the last time they came out with a new amplifier was the Marshall Origin series. They're focused more on headphones, I think, and
on
Bluetooth
headphones,
speakers.
on merch. Yes, on
There were
refrigerators.
camping bags for Marshall. Why? Do you know what I need a camping bag? Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll go find the Amp brand that makes camping bags. It wasn't even like a Joe Bonamassa thing where it's like, we're doing everything. It was specifically like, we're making high-end camping bags. Why? Because...
Also, I've tried the earbuds. They are trash. Like, for a company that has been making audio gear for like, I don't know how many decades, millennia, their earbuds are junk. Like, they are like Raycon level of junk.
A modern Marshall amp doesn't really... It's not really a thing. It doesn't come to mind.
I mean, the Marshall Code comes to mind, but that makes me want to, like, I don't know. I'd rather not think of that one.
As weird as this looks, I'd put Marshall in, like, D or E.
Should we give them the Hiwatt treatment? Because, no, I don't think so. Because we have to... Let's treat Marshall the way they deserve.
Sorry, Marshall. I'll chuck them in D just out of respect for what you once were. Mesa.
All right. Good, not great is my...
I like some of the amplifiers.
Yes.
I think others are not very good at all.
That's my thing. Because what I love is, like, I love the JP2C. I'm a Dream Theater guy. Very good amp. I don't like the rectifiers.
I like, I don't know, there's so many marks.
Yeah, I like the Mark III. That's like the White Snake sound, I think.
Whatever one, I played it weighed a ton. It was like the Nuno Betancourt sound.
Nuno Betancourt and White Snake and stuff, I think they used like the Mark III.
I like Mesa cabinet. They have the Mesa Celestion speakers, and they do sound different, and I like recording with those. Those are very good. A lot of the amplifiers do have a certain sound that I don't really like. They're not very tight.
He said it first. You cannot see now. You can't leave comments because I said it. All right, leave comments because he said it. They sound so flabby because I want the rectifier to sound tight, because then I would love it. I would love it for like thrash metal applications. Like the way it sounds, it's applicable for like Cannibal Corpse who play in G standard anyway, so their strings sound like cooked spaghetti anyway, so the amp can as well.
Modern Mesa, it's not for me, but it is nowhere near modern Marshall. I'd put it in C.
C tier is fine.
I think it fits there. It's not terrible. Orange or Arashta in Irish. What's the German word for orange?
Orange. It's that.
Okay. Well, we're learning here today.
Yes.
Orange is my favorite color. Okay. Orange is also my favorite flavor. I quite like them.
I love them. I began loving them when I bought this.
Oh, the little baby Micro Terror.
Yes, it's the Micro Dark. The Micro Terror is this one has like more of the shape knob. If you turn that like all the way to the right, you get like this dirty obituary-esque distortion. And if you turn it to the left, you get like a classic rock sound. But I've gotten some of my best lead tones out of $160 little lunchbox amp.
I've got a very hot take.
Yes.
This is a flaming hot take. Orange look the best. They have a very original sound.
Yes.
They don't sound like a Marshall. They don't sound like a Mesa. They don't sound like a Fender. They don't sound like really anything else, and no one really sounds like them either. They're experimenting with solid state power and valve preamp. Hence your little micro. The Pedal Baby, which they're the only brand I've ever seen make a Class AB power amp. Everyone does Class D. I'm a big fan of what Orange are doing, and my hot take is S.
When you were maximizing the image of their logo, while you were doing that, I was going to say straight into S tier.
So we agree. We've got ourselves an S tier.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, that wall needs some orange. It needs more orange than it already has.
Yeah, it needs more than the orange tape that's on it, yes.
So we've got an S tier.
Yes. That for sure.
We've got a Peavey here. This is another brand where I have to ask: Are we going old Peavey or are we going new Peavey?
You mean, are we going undercover boss Peavey, or are we...
Yes. Are we going pre-undercover boss or post-undercover boss? There's a very big difference.
Yes. Just because we went with current Marshall too, I'd say just out of fairness, we do that with Peavey as well, because otherwise
All right,
Marshall
Peavey.
would be like at least C tier.
All right, Peavey. I'm sorry. They've pretty much got like 2 amplifiers, and they're all based around the 5150.
Yes.
You know, which came out in the 90s. Peavey, it's maybe like you're stuck in the past more than Marshall. Come out with a new amplifier, and I know you'll say the Peavey Invective or Invective, whatever.
Invective,
one that
yeah.
the one that what's his name, Misha Mansour kind of uses it as a power amp for stage volume. Even though
I was gonna
in-ears.
say, like, in a rig rundown, he was like, "Oh, you use the Invective." No, I use it as like you cannot hear it.
If you're like in the first 3 rows of the crowd, you can kind of hear some of it. You can do it. I know you're capable of doing it. Come out with an amplifier that is not the 5150. That will bump you up on the tier list. Even if it's not very good, I will still respect it more.
I'm sorry, the 6505 it sounds great. It sounds great. It defined like no other amp. It sort of defined the modern metal tone. It's very flimsy. Like, if you have one, it will break like, I don't know, every 15 minutes, it feels like. I don't know if it's the 6505 or the Plus or whatever, but there's just some of them are just, ugh.
Pre-undercover boss Peavey, you're up there.
Yeah.
Post-undercover boss Peavey, I'm sorry.
You're down there.
But you're down there. Are they with Marshall or are they below?
I'd put them with Fortin, to be honest, because even in their prime, I don't think they were as good as Marshall in their prime. That might be a hot take. I'm not sure if it is.
I think it might be, because not that they're as good as Marshall, but the sense that Marshall shaped a sound and so did Peavey. PRS amps.
All right, I put these on the list for 2 reasons, which is the Archon 50, which is like my 3rd favorite guitar amplifier in the world, and I keep saving money for one, and once I have it, I end up buying a guitar like an idiot. And the is it Mark Tremonti?
Yes.
Yes.
The MT-15.
Yes, exactly. Those 2. Fantastic. I don't care about the other PRS amps. In fact, I'm not really sure what other ones there are. There's like one that Music is Win has. I remember seeing that in a video. That sounded very good too.
That does not narrow down anything, because he's got everything PRS has ever made.
No, like one that like Paul like hand built that one for him, but it's like a model they have, but he was like, no, I will build this myself with my old man hands.
I can't say I know too much about PRS amps. I've never played them. I've thought about getting an MT-15 every now and then, but then I think, I could just get like a tiny tower or a dark tower.
Yeah, that's much cheaper too, and it is better. But like, when you look at PRS guitars, you don't think, wow, metal. Even though like they have Floyd Rose ones and stuff, but that's still, they don't really scream like, hell yeah, death metal. But that's what the Archon 50 is it's a Mesa but like tight.
So what are you thinking to where to place them?
I would put them in either B or A. I'm leaning more towards A, honestly, because I'm
leaning towards more B.
All right.
Because I put them in with like Bogner, right? They're high end. They're very expensive, or at least the higher end ones are. Like, well, you would expect that. I'd put it beside, Friedman, Bogner, that sort of stuff.
I think the Archon 50 is like a grand. Like, I could live with that.
Randall.
Ooh.
See, again, which ones are you talking about? Are you talking about, like, there's an era of Randall, and then there's
I'm talking about Dimebag era Randall.
So solid state Randall.
Yes.
Actually, worse, 90s solid state Randall. 90s solid state in general was never good. So,
no.
Like, I mean, okay, not never good. Some were.
But
a lot of it wasn't.
I know people who have bought Randall amps, like modern ones, because they like Dimebag. They're like, oh, same brand. But that's not the case at all, especially if you're buying tube ones. Like, you're not going to get Dimebag tone out of anything that Randall makes today. And also, everyone sort of forgot them after Dimebag died. So, but I never liked the Dimebag tone anyway. So that's why I put them on there, is to kind of further anger the Pantera fans.
Okay, so when I think of Randall, I think of like 2 things: Dimebag, and I think of Kirk Hammett.
Yes. He didn't he have like a practice amp, like a signature?
No, he had like a full-on head, and it was three or four.
But they made like a signature practice amp too, like they did with Kerry King after he got his big one.
Well, I never saw that one, but That's what I think of, and I don't remember Kirk using it for a really long time. I don't mind the Kirk Hammett stuff.
I don't mind it either. I also don't mind the Dimebag stuff because I'm sure you could have dialed in a semi-good tone with that as well. It's just he didn't.
Yeah, I don't think they're bad.
No, they're just not. They're not bad. They're just also not good.
If you gave me other amps on this list, I would be much happier.
Yes.
But they're not bad. I would. Where do you put them though?
Put them below Hughes and Kettner. Where you put them is your thing.
D.
Yeah, all right. That sounds good. Also, I didn't say their modern stuff was bad. I'm just saying if you're buying that because you're a Dimebag fan, you're going to be very disappointed.
Roland. For some reason, you put the Roland on here. Because they really only made like the jazz chorus.
That is the reason I put them on there, is because that was a big thing back when it came out, and it's sort of resurfacing with bands like King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Okay. Well, it's a nice clean.
Very nice clean. Can also be a nice sort of crunch and distortion tone even. It's not like the most pleasant one for like the applications that I've heard some people use it for. It's very, very good, and it's a very, very nice clean amp.
And by the way, it's a solid state. Ooh, proving that solid state isn't all bad.
Fan of solid state if it sounds good.
I am too.
Yeah.
In fact, I prefer solid state over anything to do with valves.
I think they still like make it, but it's not as good.
Where do we put it? Considering we're talking about cleans, right? We put Fender in C because they've got good cleans.
Yeah, it's a bit. I'd say it's like the jazz chorus is more versatile, I'd say, than like a Fender Twin Reverb or a Fender, what have you.
So between B and C.
Pretty much.
There we go. Right in the middle. We only got two more.
We should be almost done now. Yeah.
Yes, we've got.
Yes. So I put that one on there for you, basically. Pretty much like Hiwatt, because I knew Victory existed because of Jared Dines for like years, because he did use Victory amps for a while, like partially, and then you made your video with the thumbnail where you looked very thrilled about your two Victory heads.
It was not me being very thrilled. It was like the 16th take of that photo, and holding two above your head is very heavy.
Also, they sound very good. I know that I've tried one. I'm not sure which one I've tried, like what Victory amp I've tried. I think it was greenish.
I get the impression that Victory amplifiers, whoever runs the Instagram page doesn't like me, because they will not interact with any posts about the amplifiers. And I tested it because I made a different account and I made a post about them, and they liked that. Yeah, but they do sound good. And I like that they're high power and small. In saying that, a lot of the high amps that we've placed on the tier list were said, oh, this amplifier is great because it's got its own sound. You can't say there's a Victory sound. There's a Victory sounding like a Marshall or a Victory sounding like a Mesa. It's not, oh yeah, that's the sound of.
What are they? It's called, it's Kraken, right? I was going to call it the Squid.
Yes, I've got a couple squids over there.
Yes, I think I've played a Kraken. It was like greenish, sort of. Like I enjoyed it very much. Didn't pay much attention to what it was though. I'll let you rank them because you have experience with them.
Okay. I like the package. I like how small it is. It's lightweight. So it's between B and C, I think. The bit that brings them down to C is that it's kind of just like I said, there's no Victory sound. There's no space to put it between B and C. So I'll put it there. Slightly out of C, but not fully.
Sounds good. All right, last one.
We got one more. And that's it. Vox. And we've got like 7 minutes to do it in, because this is going to be the thing. So, AC30, AC15, that's pretty much what you're talking about here.
Yes. However, also, I had a beginner amp when I started playing. It was broken, and so I took it. I bought a used guitar off a guy, and he was like, "You want to take this amp too, just kind of for decoration, because it's broken." And so I turned one screw in it, and it started working again. And that was the Pathfinder 15. It's like a little small combo amp, and I played that for like a year because I really enjoyed the sound of it. So they even make like good low-end amps. The high-end especially is very, very good. Not the most versatile amps, but they are much more versatile than, say, Fender or Roland.
I'd actually put them in A, just for the sole fact that they've got an original sound. Granted, the older ones kind of did go on fire. So that's a bit of a negative, bit of a drawback.
I didn't put Bugera amps on here, or Bugera, if that's what you... Because
Bugera, yeah.
Because otherwise we would have had to bring up the whole myth about them setting on fire as well.
Well, with Vox, there was no myth. They actually did.
A sounds fair.
And I do very much like their wahs as well.
You've made a video about that, yes.
Well, there's very little that I haven't made a video on, okay?
And the little that you haven't is on my whiteboard over there, so...
That's our tier list. Orange win, I guess.
Yeah, that's pretty much... That's the consensus. I have to buy another orange amp, is what I get out of this list.
Orange are good.
Orange are very good.
Thank you for watching, people. And make sure to like the video and subscribe and comment and disagree with tier lists and fight about it and just wage war in the comments. Go for it. Let us know what amplifier
and like Patreon names are over
yeah,
there.
he wants your money.
Yes, exactly.
So give him some.
Yes, and
he's got stickers for sale.
Yes, exactly. I've got.
as well.
He said it. I have stickers and I have pics and also I have to put the patron names up here. Sub to the Patreon. Give me money. I have big projects coming up.
So also subscribe to me if you haven't, or maybe unsubscribe from me. I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah. After this, some of you might want to unsubscribe, but no, definitely subscribe to him. I'm wearing the
discontinued merch.
Yes, basically.
Yeah. All right. That's the video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.